the issue that all subsequent Star Trek composers have had, which is that there's already a theme.
Yes.
So the Alexander Courage theme for Star Trek, everyone knows. So you must know that you have to use that, but you also then have to come up with your own themes. And Jerry came up with his big theme that then ended up being part of television history with The Next Generation. But you had to come up with your own themes too. So it was the fact that Jerry Goldsmith had already done this movie and the fact that there was already a theme involved, was that intimidating for you to do?
Well, I was a little more rebellious probably than Jerry was. I refused to use the Alexander Courage theme. I just thought it was dated. And there was nothing I could salvage out of it. I know I sound ruthless. We have so little time, so I'm just... honestly, it's a period type of tune, and I felt it didn't have the emotional thing that I wanted to get out of it, and it was baggage. And I did use the bum, 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 that falling motif a couple of times, but not the tune. And the producers very much wanted me to use the tune, but I wouldn't. And the director backed me up, which was very fortunate. So I didn't really have a lot of baggage. They, fortunately, in terms of the first, the first Star Trek, the studio was very disappointed with the way the movie came out commercially. And they wanted something that was much more exciting and visceral and not so much of a thought process. And I was asked to do more of an adventure story. And that's how I approached it initially.
The scene we're going to see is when Kirk and his crew first discover who it is they've actually been battling for much of the film. And there's the face-off between the two ships, both of which are they're both on the same side, the ships, but
right.
One has been taken over by the baddie who's going to be revealed to Kirk. Now, the reason I selected this clip, it's quite a long clip, but I think it's worth seeing all the way through, is it really shows the skill of a film composer, what you are up against. Musically, you are working around dialogue, as we'll hear right at the beginning, where you're actually timing the music to the dialogue. But you've also got a lot of cuts in there. You're also working to different scenes, different people, different emotions. But it's also seeing it as an arc, as one big scene. So yes. It does present a number of issues for you there.
It does. And you'll notice it's a long piece of music, which is sort of a trademark of my writing. I very seldom get pulled into writing cues, unless it's something that really needs something on the screen that needs to be repaired and addressed musically. I try to make music as innocuous, and I can be much more invisible when I'm going for 9 minutes, believe it or not, than when it comes in and goes out after 2. You just notice it like sound effects, and I hate that when it happens. So you'll notice this is a very long sequence.
But there are about 20, 25 things you need to hit marks with. And we must remember this is early 80s, no computers.
No.
So you have to actually work out exactly by the frame where your music finishes and starts again, or rises and falls.
I do this movie just like I write scores now. I'm a complete anachronism in terms of I write at a desk, I work out all the maths, I work out how I'm going to conduct it, and we can talk about, when you see the sequence, what I'm faced with, but it's all conducted in a process where I am watching the screen. I'm sort of facing the screen, the orchestra's facing you. I'm conducting the screen, and then mathematical marks that I put, and they go by to the right. And I know that when they go and hit the right-hand side, that's a synchronization part for me. And in the course of a 12-minute cue, there may be easily 150 things that I need to hit. And it's all done in conducting. It's not done with what are called, for me, click tracks or clicks going, metronome going in the musician's headsets. It's all in the conducting. So the performance, my performance changes each time. If I want to catch a kiss and make it more passionate, I can delay the math a little bit so that I'm just pulling the orchestra back slightly, but it's all in the conducting. And that's the magic of the process, and also the complications.
Well, no kissing in this
No
scene, but
kissing.
plenty of other action. Let's have a look at this clip from Russell Cup.